would say there's nothing you could do to stop my heart for you. Just keep your head up high. Yeah, hold your head up high. I know sometimes there are things you don't understand. Broken roads, faded dreams, been trying to find your way in. I'm seeing your tears, I'm hearing your cries, but know that I'll never leave your side, even in the change. I won't walk away, I promise I'll stay.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to our channel. And today we're going to talk about all of the things that have been happening in our life lately. Just kind of let you know what's been happening, what our plans are for the month of October, and just kind of recap what's been going on the past few months. So stick with me. Okay, so let's start with some of the accomplishments that we have made these past couple of months. So at the very end of August, our school, our homeschool, Little Sprout Schoolhouse, it opened for the 2024-25 school year. This is our 5th year homeschooling our children, and this year we have a 3rd grader, a kindergartner, and then I guess I'm just going to call it pre-K2. My 2-year-old, she's kind of everywhere, but she's learning so much. So you just kind of have to add her into the mix because she is there with us every step of the way. So yes, my 2-year-old is very much in the mix. 30 minutes prior to shooting this video, I was cleaning up neon yellow paint off of her, off of my floor. And when she saw my face when I walked in the living room, we were all getting ready in our bathroom because we have somewhere we have to be after this. And she, you know, this look came over her face and she's like, "Mama, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault." And I was like, "No, it's not my fault. It's your fault," you know. And then my husband, Brad's in the background laughing. He's like, "Yeah, but it's your fault, Mama, because you shouldn't be able to make the art supplies so accessible to our 2-year-old. So yeah, it was my fault. I should have put the art supplies up where she could not get them because, let's face it, if there's something that my 2-year-old can get into, she's going to get into it. But yeah, she was like, "It's not your fault, Mama." I was like, "Yeah, no, but it kind of is." But yeah, so don't ever think for a minute that she is not in the mix with us every day, hearing everything that we learn, because she is. We started at the very end of August, but at the very beginning of September, we had our trip to Colorado where we were gone for almost 3 weeks. And if you haven't checked those videos out, I will link them in the description box below. I am still working on our last video where we spent a week in Rocky Mountain National Park and we saw all sorts of animals. We saw elk and moose, and the only 2 animals that we wanted to see that we did not see was bighorn sheep and bear. We didn't see either of those animals, although I'm sure we were probably close to them as we were driving or hiking. Our sweet friends from Missouri invited us to go on this trip with them, and we had such a good time hanging out with them, just visiting. And of course, when you have small children and you bring them on trips, we had a couple of urgent care visits, a couple of ear infections, just runny noses, fevers. It just comes with the game whenever you travel with small children, and it's to be expected. But we had such a fantastic time, and I'm going to be working on that video for you guys and giving you our adventures and our tips for that park. We brought our books along the way. We did a few lessons. I just kind of wanted to get the kids in the routine of doing schoolwork again because we've been off for about 6 to 8 weeks. And but we also just enjoyed where we were at, and we learned about all the different stops that we made along the way: the Royal Gorge, Pikes Peak, Garden of the Gods, Rocky Mountain National Park. We saw stuff in Amarillo, Texas, and this was new territory for us. We had not driven into the west before. We normally go either north or east. So this was different for us, and we really enjoyed it, and we learned so much along the way. And that's the beauty of travel school, is you get to take your school with you, do what you can, but then learn about the areas that you're in. And for us, that's just the way that we like to do it. Another thing that we did after our trip to Colorado, we kind of went east and made like a direct shot over to North Missouri for opening day of archery season. Our family is a family of hunters. My husband has hunted his whole life. I killed my first deer a couple of years ago, although I've spent many years just sitting in the stand with him and experiencing everything and taking everything in and learning from him. But our kids love it. So we were able to get a few hunts in North Missouri, but it was super hot. The deer activity was kind of sluggish. Although my daughter did see a couple of deer that she could have shot, she chose not to. She chose to wait and see what happens later on in the season. So I'm sure if we get something on camera, we're going to be headed back north to Missouri to allow them to have that opportunity to get that deer. In addition to our trip that we probably will be taking back to North Missouri in October, I do have one more trick up my sleeve. Not trick. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, y'all are going to think I'm talking about something else. I do have one more trip, T-R-I-P, up my sleeve, hopefully for the month of October. I cannot talk. It is not far though. It's not going to be like a 20-something hour trip to Colorado. It's going to be just a few hours down the road. It's something that I've always wanted to do with the kids, but fall is busy for us. It's busy because we're starting up our homeschool. We're trying to get as many hunts in the hunting season as possible, so we're making a lot of trips north. Just with the holidays, with everything that entails, it's a really busy season for a lot of families. And so I've never been able to work this into the mix, but I'm hoping that we can get a few days free where we can make that happen. And if we do, I'll bring you guys along for the ride, but we'll see if it happens. Now, earlier in the month of August, we spent 2 weeks on the beautiful island of Maui. This was our third time going to this beautiful island. We enjoy it every time we go. It really holds a special place in our hearts, but we've been there before, so it wasn't the typical hustle and bustle of vacations that you would normally see, where we have this list of to-dos that we have to get done within a certain time frame. So we had a lot of downtime where we just relaxed at the house. We let the kids enjoy the pool, and for us it was exactly what we needed in this busy season of our lives. And then when we returned home, we started our school with Little Sprout Schoolhouse, our homeschool, and then we made our trip to Colorado. We've been home now for a little over a week, and I have to say for myself, it is so good to be home. We are travelers at heart, and we travel so much, but sometimes it's really good just to come home, get back into the routine of things. I believe that's what I've missed more than anything, is being at home, being able to get up early, have my alone time, spend my time with the Lord, do my exercise routine, get ready for the day before the kids get up, because let's face it, that's the only time I get during the day. And if you're a homeschool mama, you know what I'm talking about. But I think just for mamas in general also, we have to have that time where we can just really reflect on what the day is going to hold in our lives, and just ask the Lord to help us through all the things that are going to be coming at us during the day. And if you don't have that time, I find that I'm a lot more irritable. I'm a lot more scatterbrained, and my mind is not in tune with what I need to be doing. And so for me, having that time is very important, and that is extremely hard to do on vacation. So it was really good to be back home. Okay, so what's new in fitness? For me, it's just increasing my miles with my running. Running is something that I started back, let me think about this for a minute. Oh, how long ago has it been? $2012. I started running, I believe. No. That is completely wrong. Is it? No. Okay, so I started running around 2012. It was something that I started doing after I got out of nurse anesthesia school. I am a nurse anesthetist, and I really fell in love with it because of the mental clarity that it gave me. It is therapy for me. I know a lot of people will talk about if they go to the gym, they can just kind of zone out. That's what my husband does when he lifts weights. And for me, it's running. It just really starts my day off. I feel like I've done something already with my day, that I've been productive. I've worked on my health. And so for me, it's just increasing that mileage. After having 3 children and trying to run in those transition periods of having baby after baby after baby, it just never felt right, because I just never got comfortable with it before we were having another baby. So I'm not sure if we're done with babies. I feel like that we are. So for me, getting back into that routine of running again is really been it's really been a blessing, and it's really something that I enjoy doing. I've got my eye on a 5K in October. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. We'll see. I'll see if I can talk my oldest into running with me. She and I actually did the Disney Princess 5K in 2023, and let me tell you, it was a life moment for me. When I started running and I would do races and I would see these mother-daughter duos, you know, trekking it across the track, I would always think in my head, you know, Lord, if you ever give me a daughter, I really want this to happen for us. And it did. So that was, it was such a high point in my life, and it was for her too. We had the best time at Disney running the 5K, and so I want to continue those memories with her, and she really enjoyed running the 5K. So we may do one in October. I will let you guys know if we decide to. But I just want to also say, if you have not found that thing in your life that gives you focus, that gives you that mental clarity, that therapy that you might need, or just a time to just zone out and just focus on something else in your life rather than all the chaos or concerns or problems that surround you every day, try to figure out what that is for you, because it helps tremendously, whatever that may be. Just figure out something that you like to do and do it. So one more thing that I wanted to talk about is health, and I guess it kind of goes along with fitness. But I just wanted to share with you guys that I have a very good friend that a fellow homeschooling mom, a wife, a mom of 4 children, a fellow CRNA. I went to school with her. I worked with her. She was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. And for a mom of her age, my age, late 30s, early 40s, this was a big deal. Her name is Jessica, so please pray for her and her family and her friends. She starts her 2nd week of chemo this week. Jess, you're doing an amazing job. You've already inspired so many people, and you inspire me daily. And she is sharing her story on TikTok, which I think is absolutely wonderful, because she is in the medical field, so she knows how to educate people on this type of breast cancer and her journey going through it. It's going to be quite an extensive journey. So I will put her link for her journey on TikTok in the description box. And if you do not have TikTok, she is also sharing her videos on Facebook, and I will try to link that in the description as well if you want to follow her journey. But most of all, just pray for her, and also get your mammograms. I've already scheduled mine. I know a lot of us think that, oh, we're not 40, we don't need to get our mammograms. Actually, you do. And it's really sad that in today's age and time that we're having to move those time frames up because of what is happening basically just in our society. So if you are in your late 30s, it's time to schedule your mammogram. So let's get that started, ladies. It's not something that we want to think about. I can't believe that I'm old enough to have a mammogram. I mean, really, truthfully. But yes, alas, here we are. So let's go do it. The sooner that we find out if we have the big C, the better off that we are treating it. So don't let something like that just continue to kind of linger. Just go and get it done. Make time for yourself, make time for your health, and just get the mammogram. Okay, so let's talk finance. Now, this is more of my husband's speed. He is the cryptocurrency guy in our home, and he tells me that October is going to be what's called Uptober. I have no idea. All I know is that we have been in a bear market for several years when it comes to cryptocurrency. So if you do own cryptocurrency, be aware that October may be a month where you actually see it move. So if you don't check it often, October might be a month where you need to kind of stay on top of it and see what the trends are doing. Now, another reminder for you guys, if you have a business, if you have a small business, an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, you need to start thinking about taxes. December 31st is quickly approaching, and you need to get some numbers on paper of what all you've spent this year, what your business has made. Make an appointment with your CPA if you have one. Discuss if you need to offset those taxes a bit, if you need to make a purchase to offset those taxes. You need to start thinking in that direction. Don't let December roll around and then you realize, oh my goodness, I owe $70,000 in taxes this year. Let me go buy that Ranger that I've been wanting, or that diesel truck that I've been wanting. Don't wait that long. Do it now. Stay on top of the game so that you won't be rushing and trying to get all the things done in December. So this is your reminder. It's mine as well. Oh, I've got taxes to do. You need to start thinking in that direction. The next thing that I want to tell you guys about is dwellapparel.com. We have been given this opportunity to share this small Jesus-based company with you guys. This is a mom of 3. She has been a wife of 25 years, and she has been making t-shirts and different apparel for over 16 years. Dwell's mission is to provide conversation starters in their apparel about Jesus, our faith, all the things that God has done working for our good, and we are so excited to work with them. At Dwell, they believe that fashion can be a powerful tool for sharing the message of Jesus and inspire meaningful conversations with others. They were going to provide you quality, comfy tees and sweatshirts, as well as detail in every design. Jody's true passion is to share and spread the good news, but in a subtle and inviting way. And each product that you receive will not only feel and look great, but also stand the test of times. So yes, go check out Dwell Apparel. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts today. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can kind of pan down. It says, "It is well with my soul." It has the flowers and all that on it. It's really... Hey, Roro. Where are you at? How are you doing? You need a haircut, don't you? You need a haircut? You need to go see Miss Terry? Yeah. So exciting to be able to share these small faith-based companies with you guys, and also to offer you a discount. I will put the link in the description box, and you can use the code PITPACK15 at checkout to get 15% off of your order with Dwell. Go check them out at their website. If you find something that you like, use our code, get you some extra savings. And thank you to Jody and Dwell Apparel for letting us work with you guys. We certainly appreciate it, and we hope that God shines a light on your ministry. Okay, let's talk books that I've read in the past month. I always try to pick up my, Old Faithful encouragement homeschool books. These are books that I try to read every year before we start our homeschool, just to put my perspective where it should be. Not on a curriculum, not on just getting the lessons done and just making the little check marks as we go down, but to point our hearts and minds in learning towards God. That is ultimately the goal in our homeschool, is to point everything back to God for our kids, to disciple their little hearts, and to raise them up in that respect. And that gets, I want to say, hard to do, but I think just as humans, we tend to go off course a lot, and we get caught up in numbers. We start thinking, oh, our kids are going to be behind if we don't do this, this, and this. Of course, learning is important, curriculum is important, lessons are important, but that should not be first and foremost on our minds every day when we wake up, and to just let God guide our day. And if we need to stop and have a conversation about something that we've learned, something that we've discussed, if our children have a question about something that they've seen or a situation that they've been in and how best to handle it, that becomes the important part of our day, and not checking off a lesson, so to speak. I kind of got off in left field on that. These are the books that I try to go to every year. And of course, Sarah Mackenzie, Teaching from Rest. I will always be thankful to this sweet lady for writing this book, because this book has been so important to me on my homeschool journey. We're starting our 5th year homeschooling this year. I had the pleasure of meeting Sarah Mackenzie at a homeschool conference in Texas a couple of years ago, and it was the highlight of our trip, or of my trip. The kids were just excited to go play games at Kalahari Resort. But for me, it was meeting Sarah Mackenzie. So yes, always encouraging to read this book. If you're a homeschool mom and you haven't read this book, read it. It's an easy read. It's only like 80 pages long, and I'm getting ate by ants. Ah! The ants are overtaking me. I've got to wrap it up. Okay, the next one is called Home. This is also just, it's just golden. It's just golden for me. Encouraging homeschool mamas, read it. This lady is so wise, Miss Karen. She has such good things to say. Her story aligns so well with mine in so many respects, about how she never thought she would be a teacher. She never planned on homeschooling her children, but when she went to sign her daughter up for preschool, she had an anxiety attack. So most of us can relate to that. I had something similar. I didn't have an anxiety attack, but it was something very similar with our story with homeschool. So it's really cool how God works, and how when He's calling you to do something, you see it everywhere. Even if you're not looking for it, you see it everywhere, and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that He's talking to you and He's calling you to do something. Even if you're fearful and you're like, no, God, I could never do that. But you know what? That's when His strength comes in, is when we don't have. It's not by our own strength, right? It's by His strength that we do this thing. And whatever that thing is for you, don't ever for a minute think that He can't do a work in you, and we can do all things through Him, right? The Bible tells us that. So this is yeah, get this one too. I'll try to see if I can link a few of these down below. Also, another book by Miss Karen is Real Homeschool. And this is just about generating your own homeschool, not looking to everyone else or the Pinterest-worthy homeschool, making your home education your own and not comparing to anybody else, how God has us each on our own path. And we need to focus on that and not be looking at what she's doing or what he's doing or what this homeschool is doing. Focus on your home, your children, the season that you are in, because we're all in different seasons. Work in the space that God has given you. So this is a good one. Now, one that I'm reading currently, and it's so good. The Ministry of Motherhood. Okay, I started this book several months ago and I just had to put it down. Life just got busy and I picked it back up and I was like, why did I ever put it down? Miss Sally Clarkson, you have such a way with words. You have such a way of encouraging mamas, not just homeschool mamas, mamas in general, and how we are given these children for a time and we are to steward them well and to just kind of put down the selfish ways that we tend to gravitate towards at certain times and to really put the focus back on God and our family and our children and doing that well. And yeah, she does an excellent job in explaining all of that. So, the Ministry of Motherhood, Sally Clarkson. The last thing that I want to cover today is faith, and it actually should have been the first thing that I covered, but I just kind of wanted to wait to the end to do this. So, on our channel, you guys already know we're going to talk about all things related to our faith, our family, our fitness, finances, and freedom, which for us, that includes homeschool, travel school, all the things that we get to do in our life that has come from the Lord. But the one thing that I've really been reading a lot lately with the Bible is just trying to put myself in their shoes, so to speak. I think a lot of times, I know that it's this way for me. I can read and read and read, and I can think of these things more of like stories than anything else, but these were stories that actually happened. And so if you put these, there's like bugs flying all over me. If you actually just try to put yourself in that story, it just kind of makes it into a whole different perspective. And so this is what I read the other day, and it's just kind of stuck with me. And I know that I can apply this to my own life, and I hope that you can too. But I'm in Matthew chapter 16, and I'm going to start in verse 15. I have the ESV Study Bible, so that is the version that I'm using. So this is Jesus speaking. He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him and said, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." He goes on to tell him a few other things, and then he tells the disciples not to tell anybody about his true identity. But I'm trying to think about, like, just wow, like what a thing to say to someone. Like, this is Jesus speaking, and he is praising Peter for saying this, for acknowledging that he is indeed the Messiah. He is Jesus Christ. He is God in the flesh. And could you just imagine how elated Peter was in that moment? Like, I can only imagine how excited that he was. This was the first time that it was actually acknowledged by Jesus that he is the Messiah. He is God in the flesh, and that Peter actually spoke it. You know, none of the disciples at this point had said that this was who he was. I'm sure they suspected, and I'm sure they even knew at that point that he was God, but they never said it. Peter was the one who said it. Jesus praises him for saying it. And then here we go. This is just typical human behavior. I know that I've done this so many times. The very next paragraph. Okay. The first time that Jesus tells about his death and his resurrection, that's coming after his death. Verse 21, Matthew chapter 16. From that time, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and the chief priests and the scribes and be killed, and on the third day be raised. And Peter took him aside, and he began to rebuke him, saying, Far be it from you, Lord, this shall never happen to you. But he turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are a hindrance to me, for you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. And I just felt so sorry for Peter in that moment, because even though he didn't even realize it, Satan was working through him to try to convince Jesus that, hey, you don't need to do this, You're God. Why would you go on a cross and die and then be raised again on the third day? But of course, God's plans are not our plans. Peter had no way to know what was going to happen. He just knew that Jesus was saying he was going to die. And of course he didn't want that, and he didn't understand why that had to happen. But I felt so sorry for him because, in the paragraph that we read in the beginning, he was probably on cloud 9 with Jesus praising him. And then in the very next paragraph, just a few verses later, Jesus is telling him, Get behind me, Satan, you're a hindrance to me. How many times have we done that in our life? How many times have we done something that we're so excited about? We're so excited that God is using us, that we're furthering his kingdom work, whatever that may be. And then hours later or the next day, we feel so miserably. And sometimes it's not even something that we've meant to do. And poor Peter, I just felt so sorry for him. And I was like, this is something that we can all speak to. We can all be up here on cloud 9 sometimes with the things that we've done, but then God can set us right back when we get too prideful about things and show us that no, it actually wasn't us. It was him working through us. And so let that be a reminder for you today to always make the intentions of your heart right with your actions and your words. And to just know that we are flesh, we are going to fail, and that is why Jesus came. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed sitting down and talking with you guys. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to get more content like this, click that subscribe button. It's a free way to support our channel, and we will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to link all of the videos I've already done on our travels down below, and I'm working on that Rocky Mountain National Park video. Hopefully I'll get that out soon. And we'll see you guys next time, and have a blessed day. Bye, guys.
Yeah, I promise I'll stay. If you could see what I see, the lonely nights overcome, and you'd be proud, I believe.